The final writing that will happen in this training set will be a power paragraph based on Denise Levertov's poem Moon Tiger. This happens to be one of our featured lessons, so we can just scroll down here, click on the Moon Tiger tile. The lesson will come up with all of the wonderful resources, criteria. This has a very, very detailed lesson plan, which you can follow, or you can sort of present it on your own. Go ahead and assign this. Again, that takes you to the dashboard where you will be able to assign it to your students and assign students to the Hive. For this particular one, we're going to kind of do a lot of different things. We're going to set up a pre-write. We're going to set up the assessments. I'm going to have the timed essay be optional. That's something you might want to bring in or not. So let's go ahead and set up the essay. We're going to do the assessments. I'm going to go to short response. And for this essay, let's go ahead and select 2 items. We're going to be focusing on hook, and we're going to be focusing on the use of evidence here. And we will allow students to make assessments. Okay. We are going to set up a pre-write as well. Okay, there's that light bulb right there. So we can go ahead and set up our guiding questions for this particular piece of analysis. And we're ready to move on. Also, because we are going to be writing alongside of our students and creating an exemplar, we'll hit the Create Demo button here, the big orange button. Okay, you'll notice it says Demo up here. I'm going to click on that. By the way, you can change the color of, and the students can do this as well. People will do this for organizational purposes. I'm going to make mine black. You'll put your title, all this information here. This is what the students are actually going to see. When they go to their writing, you'll notice that they have different writing frames. We have a blue area for a hook, a red area for thesis or claim, green for evidence, purple for analysis, and yellow for a closer. So similar to the Randall Jarrell poem setup, but this has a little bit more going for it. We've added the hook area. We're also going to add additional frames during this assignment as well, thus making it an elaborated or a power paragraph. If I want to open up the sidebar, I simply can do it by clicking this icon here. If I want to hit the exclamation point to see the prompt and the criteria, I can do so here. Also, there's a little notepad if students want to write notes. This is not the same as the brainstorming feature, but it allows them to write just notes that come to them. The life preserver would be those areas where you would want to look at different help based on the element that you're currently writing on. Also, you'll notice earlier I was in this mode here. Students can write in single frame mode, meaning they have the same categories, the same frames essentially, but they'll be moving in one frame at a time. A lot of students like to really isolate the section that they're working on. So we do have that mode here in this square box. As you can see, it just goes back and forth by clicking on that, like a toggle switch. So the students are writing, they're not on a timer. They can take a break anytime they want to go to the Hive, see what their cluster mates are doing, that sort of thing, jumping back and forth. They can take a look at their MLA formatted document, seeing what that's looking like in real time, and moving around. Now, what we want to focus on for this particular lesson is not just writing in the frames, but also manipulating the frames and sort of adding to them. So we're getting a little bit more advanced. By arranging and rearranging, what I mean is students can easily take these boxes and move them around. Who's to say that evidence needs to come first, right? Maybe we want to get into a bit of analysis following our claim and then support that analysis with a line from Denise Levertov's poem, The Moon Tiger. Or perhaps I want to add another piece of evidence. I could easily do so by clicking here and adding that Where are you at? Here? Okay. And this leaves another area where students can add another piece of evidence, for example. So elements can be added as needed, and they can be arranged and rearranged. Don't forget also that we have the sentence starters, so students can go in and find those academic ways in which they can start their utteration of that particular frame there. Okay. I might recommend for this particular writing, if you want to get a bit more advanced, that perhaps after we've done the structuring of the argument. So I've got, in this case, a hook where I'm going to be, setting up some background information. Don't know how to do a hook? Well, we'll just click on that and well, what is a hook? And look at all the different examples of how a hook can be created. Kind of an engaging lead-in to the claim. I've got my 2 quotes from the text. I have my analysis. But what I'm going to have my students do for this one here, let's add a counterargument. And let's add rebuttal. And the reason I'm doing that is in this particular prompt, students are being asked to defend what they think the moon tiger is in this simple poem. Well, there may be those who disagree with them. And so we could have the students deal with a counter-argument claim and then come back with a rebuttal. Which I think is a really good exercise. So many of the standards ask students to deal with counterclaim or the opposition's claim. And so we can have the students do this as well. So with this lesson, have the students exercise their ability to move things around and to add new frames as they build more of a power paragraph, if you will. And again, have them go to the hive, play with the timer if you would like to, have them do the pre-writing as we did with Randall Jarrell's Bird of Night. And this is really the culminating lesson for this training set. I think once you've gone through all 4 of these, you're going to be pretty good with the platform, and so are your students. Have fun.